Well, that's a good segue to this. Before the Haslam family bought the Browns, they were minority owners of the Steelers, but they recently admitted they didn't really know a lot when they became owners. Jimmy Haslam said, "We did a lousy job at first. I mean, let's just face it. It's probably fair to say we didn't know what we were doing. In some ways, I go 10 years, we haven't won very many games. So I look at it that way."
Well, that's honest.
Yeah, I don't hate the accountability of it. It is very honest. But we talk about this all the time, and you were just discussing this with the Rams. There's only a handful of great anything. There's only a handful of great artists. There's only a handful of great athletes. There's only a handful of great owners. There's only a handful of great executives. There's a reason why the 1% of the 1% are so separated from the rest of us.
Right.
They have that extra special something.
Think about this. The Giants have no cap space and no great players. The Rams last year won a Super Bowl paying Stafford and Jared Goff. Like that, Daniel Jones is on a rookie contract. They're not even paying their quarterback.
Yes. And to that point, there's only so many good capologists and GMs. Yeah. So, I like this accountability from the Haslams, like that we didn't know what we were doing. And I think that's okay. You can take on an endeavor that you're not necessarily prepared for. What I will say is that if you are stepping up to a situation as serious and as monumental as owning an NFL team, you probably want to take the time, especially if you don't know what you're doing, to really invest in hiring the best of the best. That's not the time to go cheap. That's not the time to be egotistical. That's not the time to take big swings. That's the time to set yourself up with someone who is proven. If you have to steal someone away from someone else by overpaying for them to establish yourself in this league, then that's what you should have done.
Yeah, I think we've seen with Urban Meyer and the Haslams. Haslams are very successful people. It's been a mess. Urban Meyer's a second-best college coach in my life. It's a mess. If you come into the NFL, all sports for that matter, but when you come into the NFL, your previous success out of this industry means nothing. In fact, if you come into the NFL as a coach or an owner, and you have sort of an authoritarian view of the world, you are going to crash land, like really fast. Coach, GM, owner, this is a hard league. It is not the NBA where two great players can carry you to titles, or it's not baseball where we're not a great team, we got a great starting pitching, we'll be a playoff team. You got to be good everywhere. Owner, front office, coach, GM, quarterback. If you're not, you'll unravel.
Well, it's also a human element of it that is not the same as college, where you have grown-ups who likely make more than the coach, who do this for a living. They're not just, they're not just running off of inspiration. Because we've seen a lot of times, this is a big criticism of Pete Carroll, it's always rah-rah stuff. That stuff's nice. Like, it sounds good. It plays good on television. It sounds good to fans. It's awesome in social media.
Wears out pro players.
Where's the substance? Where's the X's and O's?
Yeah.
We could do this in our business, too. Come out and have an incredible marketing campaign. And where's the producers? Where's the structure of the show? Where's the graphics? Where's the research? Like, you have to have the bones of things in place. So, look, it has not gone well there, obviously, and they've made some other decisions that are being scrutinized, as of most recently with Deshaun Watson as well, and they still don't know what they're doing with Baker. This is why, again, I think I bought into the Browns. I liked what Baker had brought to the city. The city galvanized. The fans felt good about it, and he did have some success there. It's not like it was a complete failure. But to go as far as to say that the culture has changed in Cleveland,
no.
I think I may have gotten ahead of myself there. They have a lot of work to do.
A lot.
So Matt Ryan spent 14 seasons as the Falcons' starting quarterback. It's a long time. It didn't feel that long. 14 seasons? I guess so.
Well, some were just Matt's interesting. He didn't come in dynamic. He didn't leave Atlanta dynamically. He's just been there and solid for a long time. So there's not a lot of memorable moments you can go, oh, remember that year, and that there was one great Super Bowl year, so it moved fast.
Yeah.
It's not like LeBron's career where there's the Cleveland years, the Miami years, the Cleveland years. You can mark it in your mind. God, this has been a long time. Matt's had that one big year, and it's just he's been very capable, B+ for like a decade and a half.
Well, the owner, Arthur Blank, thinks moving on from Ryan was the right call for the long-term health of the franchise. He said, we have to get ready for the next 14, 15 years. That's what our fans should expect us to do. We're trying to prepare for that as best as we can. Next year, we should be in a position where there'll be the biggest cap space that we've had since I've owned the team in over 21 years. So we'll have an opportunity to extend our own players and be more active in free agency than we were this year. He also downplayed the team's interest in acquiring Deshaun Watson, saying the word explore is the key word, and it wasn't more than that.
Yeah.
That is disingenuous. You did a lot more than explore. You persuaded Ryan to move his date for the $7.5 million payments, giving them extra time to work on the trade. So the Browns beat you out essentially for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, they did.
That's fine, but you did more than explore for Deshaun Watson. Like, I get it. You're trying to save face that was a failure if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
I do not. He's right. Moving forward, you do need to find your next guy.
No question.
Marcus Mariota is a nice bridge situation.
Yeah.
You should be very honest with your fans. And I actually like that part of it. Like, he's being disingenuous about the Watson thing, but set your fans up for realistic expectations of where your organization is. This is not the year.
Yeah. That's okay.
We're building things. We're working on things.
Yep.
But next year, we're going to go all in. We just are not in a situation to do it this year. So the South Carolina Gamecocks are national champions once again. They held off UConn's 64-49 victory to claim the second title in school history. This is the first loss for UConn in a national championship game.
It's very rare that UConn felt completely outclassed. South Carolina was clearly the more talented team.
Yes, they were up 22-8 after the first quarter and never looked back. Destiny Henderson led the Gamecocks with 26 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals.
She had multiple crazy hoops.
she was great. It was the highest scoring game of her collegiate career. She really stepped up and really put the distance between South Carolina and UConn. Aaliyah Boston was the Naismith Player of the Year. She had 11 points, 16 rebounds.
Look at this move.
3 assists and 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, they were just, South Carolina was just on another level.
Yep.
Paige Beckers finished with 14 points and 6 rebounds. She was only Husky in double digits, so they just controlled the game pretty much from start to finish. South Carolina is the 8th program to win multiple national championships, and Don Staley is the first black head coach in D1 history, men or women, to win multiple national champions. So incredible season for them. Don Staley is really, I mean, she's a legend already, but she is really starting to separate from the sport. And I think she will end up being the first, if this is what she wants, I think she'll end up being the first female NBA coach. She had interviews already, but she's just done a tremendous job with this program, and really happy for them. It was it's great, obviously, to win a national championship, but when you're winning over UConn, who has been
the greatest dynasty. I mean, like, even bigger than Wooden's UCLA Bruins, who won it multiple times in a row. UConn has done this for like 25 years.
It's been decades of dominance, and they were a great team this year. I mean, they had an incredible tournament as well. So congrats to South Carolina and Don Staley.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line.
And it's interesting because he signed with the Rams for a couple of reasons. Number one, he wanted to face the Seahawks again because of how they treated him. Seattle has this recent history of Richard Sherman and Bobby Wagner and legendary players who were part of all their success, and they just kind of find out on Twitter they were released by the team. Seattle's front office has butchered multiple personnel moves over the last several years. This is another one. And it also feels like the Rams front office and culture is ahead of other teams. And if you think that's what it feels like, it's because they are. Let's just admit it. 5% of America in every industry is ahead of everybody else. Maybe they went to better prep schools. Maybe they're smarter, whatever reason. The Rams are smarter than the Seahawks, and that's why they'll win their division again, and the Seahawks will finish 4th. But the Rams, what's amazing about the Rams is that they are now paying a top-of-the-market price for a quarterback, for a defensive lineman, for a wide receiver, for a corner, for a center, and now a middle linebacker. The Giants have no cap space and no great players. Well, Stan Kroenke, the owner, is very rich. All the owners are billionaires. They're all rich. It's a hard cap and a hard floor. Everybody's dealing with the same payroll limitations. The Rams do have but 14 of their 22 starters have been drafted and developed. That's why they can give up on first-round picks, because they nail their second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth-round picks. No excuses. If you want to know why the Rams are trending the way they are, and former Seahawk Bobby Wagner is now a Ram, here's a great example. Look at how the Seahawks have recently treated stars as they left. Russell Wilson battled Pete Carroll for years. Bobby Wagner found out he was, released on social media. Richard Sherman, all-time Seahawk legend, cut when he was hurt. Look how the Rams have treated their players. Not even all of them legends. Robert Woods, they joined him in finding a perfect spot for him to go, Tennessee. They joined him in that pursuit. OBJ, we'd like to sign you. Going to keep you on as your rehab. Maybe we keep you. Maybe we move you. We're not bailing on you. Von Miller, we'd love to have you. But if you leave, you should leave for that money. You'll